Hello and welcome back to another video. I am Angst, but you can call me Katie. This is a response video to Tana Mongeau's The N-Word. She recently uploaded this and I've been making a reply over the past couple days. But before I get into it, I would like to say I do not harbor any hate for Tana. I don't have anything against her. I don't think hate is going to get anything progressive done, and I'd rather turn this into a constructive discussion. However, toward the end of this video, I will touch on some of Tana's flaws as an internet personality that are slowly ruining not only what little credibility she has left, but also the honesty and transparency that she lacks. But let's get into this.
I was on tour in San Francisco and my show had just started, and it was my VIP meet and greet comes first, then my show, then my general admission meet and greet, because I meet everyone that comes to the show. I did my entire VIP meet and greet. We do it in like groups of 10, so there's like 10 groups of 10 or something like that. I meet 10 people and then I hang out with them all for like 20 minutes and then they leave and the next group comes in and then it keeps going. So I'd done 9 groups and I was on the last VIP meetup group and there's like 10 people. I go and I meet all 9. Like there was only one more person left that I had to take my picture and sign an autograph for before they went to sit down. And so this guy comes in, he was wearing my merch, didn't look out of the ordinary at all, like just a tall, like cute looking, like normal guy. And he walks up to me and he has a girl following him with like a big DSLR camera. And that's super normal too. People always film me meeting them with like high quality cameras. Maybe they want like high quality pictures or something. And he walks up to me, he kind of like locks his arm around me, like around my neck like this. And it wasn't like it was like a chokehold or anything. It was very like firm and like tight, like I couldn't have really gotten out, if that makes sense. I'll explain that in a second. I don't really think anything of it because I love you guys. Like I want a big fucking hug, you know? And that's another thing I guess that just scares me because it's like, I don't know, each person that I meet, it's like I have open arms ready to meet them. They could have bad intentions and it sucks. And he wraps his arm around me and there's a guy that comes with me, I always have tour managers on tour with me where they take all the pictures, they take every single picture of me and each fan. They help me be on time to everything, like all that kind of stuff. They just manage me like throughout the tour along with my manager Jordan. And so my tour manager this weekend was, his name is Larry, and Larry went to take a picture of us like he always does, and the guy was like, no, I don't want you to take a picture. Like my friend here is just gonna film us. I don't even want a picture, whatever. And so Larry kind of like walks away, like he goes to talk to the other tour manager about like something else because this was the last person of the last group. Like his job for VIP was done. He didn't need to be standing there. Like it's fine, you know, but my manager Jordan was still standing there. And so the guy looks at me and he wraps his arm around me and he looks in the camera and he goes, say, and it puts his thumbs up and then like blank and he says the N-word, like hard R, N-word, like say N-word, like hard R, like smiling loud as fuck, like yells it and then like looks at me and looks into the camera, like say N-word. Like I'm not gonna say it, that's not how I am. Please imagine like say blank, like yelling, thumbs up, arm locked around me. And I literally, like, I don't even know how to describe this moment to you guys. I never understood how people would feel in moments like that where you were scared for so many reasons, for your life, for other people's lives. And I may sound really, really melodramatic, and I don't want to sound melodramatic, you guys. I don't, because I understand that worse things happen to people all the time. I understand that I am an overdramatic person. I understand I'm overdramatic in my stories. And I also, to play like devil's advocate, I get that just because worse things happen to people doesn't mean that my situation isn't valid, but I just don't want people to think I'm overdramatic. I'm genuinely just explaining the situation for like how I felt and what happened, and you guys can take it how you will and give me advice how you will. And if you want to tell me I'm being overdramatic, you can, because I'm sure I'll get a lot of that. I'm ready for that. I know that. So he says it, and like my entire body, just every thought I had like left my being. I literally felt like a ghost. I felt a million emotions like all at once. Like I'm terrified for my life. I'm terrified for other people's lives. I'm terrified at what's going on. I'm shocked. In a way, it is a feeling of instant betrayal, because it's like this person comes up to me wearing my merch with a camera, excited, smiling. My arms are open to hug him and love him, and then that happens. You know what I mean? You think it's gonna be someone that loves you, and then you realize it's somebody with a different intention.
You are kind of being a little melodramatic. You didn't really have a reason to be scared for or terrified for, as you said, your life or anyone else's. Not to deny validation that it was a rough spot to be in, there just isn't a reason to claim terror. Sure, being shocked and feeling betrayed by somebody who appears to be a fan, that's completely valid, and I probably would have been too.
And so then I kind of try to like break free, you know what I mean? Like get his arm away from me. And so like the first time I tried to, like, he didn't like let go. And that's where my brain instinct is like, okay, does he have a gun? Does he have a knife? Like whatever. This was very quick. It wasn't like he held me in for much longer. And then I pull away harder and finally pull away. That's where my brain is like, do I run? Do I scream? Do I cry? Do I hide? Do I cuss him out? Do I ask him what's wrong? Like, I don't know what to do, you know? I'm just terrified. I'm flabbergasted. I'm freaking out. And he's just looking at me like, with the creepiest, most terrifying smile. I walk away and I'm like, that's not cool. This isn't cool. Fuck this situation. Fuck this. I storm off. Another thing that really fucked me up is that like 9 other VIPs that just met me were like sitting there. They watched the whole thing happen. All 9 of these girls literally went from like, I'm so excited to meet Tana to like, because not only are they like probably also afraid for their lives, probably also afraid for this situation, probably also confusing what's going on, they're seeing me like break down at the fullest extent of breaking down. And nothing like hurts me more than breaking down in front of you guys, because I always want to be like your big sister and like know what to do in situations, and being able to break fully down and be weak and be vulnerable and not know what to do in front of you guys and see your faces with that happening really like fucked me up. I can't lie to you guys.
That isn't really a breakdown. You aren't breaking down until you're at or past Trish on her kitchen floor level. Yes, you probably felt weak and vulnerable, and you likely looked it too, but those don't constitute a breakdown.
So I walk off, and then my tour manager comes up to me. Like, I walk out of the fucking venue. Like, I'm, like, outside. Like, in some back alley. He walks up to me, and he's like, what the fuck just happened? You know, like, what's going on? And I'm like, he's racist. Like, I told him what happened. I don't fuck with that. I don't want that in my show. I don't want that anywhere around me. I don't want that around anybody that I fucking care about, especially my fans.
Sure, you may not want racism near you or your fans or people that you care about, and for most of us that is normal. But unfortunately, there are people in this world who do think the way that that guy thought, and who aren't as geared toward the perfect world train of thought that some of us have, you included, Tana.
Can you kick him out? Like, can you ask him to leave? So my tour managers like freak out. They start yelling at him. They're like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, you need to get the fuck out. And that's another thing. I mean, like having to kick anybody out that maybe he did like love me. Maybe he was a fan. Maybe he just didn't understand. Maybe he thought I think it's funny. Which also fucks me up that like somebody could think that, you know, like the fact that people aren't educated enough to know how wrong that is. I don't know. But anyways, they're kicking him out. And so I walk back in thinking he's gone, and he's like standing in the middle of the venue like, I'm getting kicked out of Tana Mongeau's tour. Are you fucking kidding? I paid for VIP. Like, he's like enraged. The girl is like still filming him, and that's when it's like he's angry. You know, what is he gonna do? What is he capable of? Is he gonna hurt my manager, my tour manager? Is he gonna hurt somebody I love? Why is he filming this? Like, what is he trying? Is he trying to like expose me or hurt me or make it look like he's just getting kicked out of my tour? Like, just like, I don't know, like a million thoughts are going through my head at this point. I don't know. And so then he leaves, and the rest of the day it was very hard for me to get back into the like, hi guys, like it's Tana Mongeau character, because I'm very much the type of person that when something like bad happens to me or something really jars me, like that's it for me. Like it's hard. I always read the emotion I'm feeling. Like, if you look at me and something's wrong, you're gonna know by my face, my actions, my voice, the way that I feel, you know. And this wasn't one of those things where I was mad, you know. It's not like a fan did something to make me like specifically mad, or like they whined and complained, or like there was a fight or something. It's like I was like a ghost. Like I went pale. I had no emotion. I didn't know what to think. There, like a million thoughts were going through my brain, and the fact that I have to go back in there now and meet the rest of these people and put on a show for these hundreds and hundreds of kids that paid all of this money to see this show, and I don't want to let them down. I already felt like I was letting people down. It was a really hard experience, and I'm not trying to make this like it was so hard for me. Like, I can imagine how hard it is for African Americans that have to deal with fucking racism like this on a daily fucking basis. Like,
why just African Americans? Everyone can experience racism, Tana. Absolutely everyone, yourself included.
I don't want you guys to think that that's where I'm trying to go with this video. I'm just trying to explain it to you as if you were me in my shoes, so that you can give me the best advice. I know I keep saying that, but I know how real like white privilege is, you know? And before people leave comments about white privilege not being real, if you think that, like, I don't want supporters that think that. If you're uneducated, I would love to educate you, but if you are educated and you're like, white privilege doesn't exist, you know, fuck off. It does. It really, really does.
White privilege isn't real. I'd like to educate you. Expect a future video on it. More accurately, expect a video on privilege and how that in itself isn't real. It's It's probably going to be on a Taboo Tuesday, so keep your eyes peeled.
A lot of people mistake white privilege for a lot of things. They think that it's like we're treated one way or something, or it's like some big thing. It's in reality, it's the basis. When white people walk around, when they live their day-to-day life, when they go to Target, when they go to fucking Walmart, they don't ever have to for 1 second live in fear of their life or a situation because of their skin color.
Wait. Tana, did you really just say that white people don't have to live in fear for their lives because of their skin color? Every skin color, race, religion, gender, and so on can be a minority in any given area. Go look up some demographics and come back to me on that one.
When white people are approached by police, their first instinct is not, let me put my hands up, because they're not afraid of police. But when African American people are in a situation with police, they don't know if those police are here to help them or to hurt them or something, you know? It's like white privilege is just, like, it's such a thing.
There are plenty of white people who fear police. Your examples are stereotypical and from areas where white isn't a minority, but where black is a minority.
I don't know, I don't want you guys to think that in any way I'm trying to make this video like my spotlight, feel bad for me, pity me, because like fuck, I'm already white privileged enough and I need to be aware of it, and I need to use my platform to do everything I can to advocate against that and to advocate for equality.
The first step to advocating for equality, or egalitarianism as the rest of us call it, is accepting that in the first world you are preaching from and the first worlds you are preaching to, everyone is equal, on the grounds of race, religion, gender, and sexual preference. Yes, each group can be a minority in a different, smaller area, and that would be your next step in deconstructing racism and inequality. It goes in all directions because everyone has the potential to be racist regardless of their skin color, upbringing, and location of upbringing.
And so, anyways, I walk back into the meet and greet, and now there are those 9 VIPs sitting there that all just had to witness all of this happen. And I did my best, to be honest, to just put on a show again, you know, to walk back in there and be like, hi, how are you? Are you having a good time? How's your day? Like, where did you come from? Do you want to take a Snapchat? Let's take a video for your friend. And just kind of pretend like it didn't happen, because I didn't want to react to a situation that I hadn't assessed yet, if that made sense. I didn't want to go back in there and start talking to them about this and stuff with their parents or in all this kind of situation and stuff when I hadn't thought about it yet, because I didn't know what was going to come out of my mouth or what. I don't know, and it was just so sad to me, because I could tell that these 9 girls were really like they were shook, they were jarred as well, you know, they didn't know what to think, and I'm standing before them and they were just so excited to meet me, and the situation was like ruined for them in a way. Do you get what I'm saying? It just was like fucked up, which sucks so bad. And so I just tried to make the best of it, and they went on to the show. And when I went out to the show, I started off my show by basically saying, especially with Donald Trump as our president, and I want you to know how much I mean that, because having a president that doesn't advocate for equality, having a president that advocates for inequality, having a president, the role model for the entire United States, the one person that is the face of our country, be a racist and set the example and say it's okay to be racist. Like, I'm white, I'm white privileged, I want to build a wall on our country to keep out a race of people.
Trump doesn't advocate for inequality. He also doesn't want to keep out a single race. He wants to keep out people who constantly come here illegally, trashing the deserts of my great state, wasting police and federal resources.
It's terrifying. And the fact that that was on the day that he became president, and like what happened that day, like at least for me to see, but also what's happening all over the world, racist acts, hate crimes, this could only be the beginning because of the person that is telling the entire world it's okay to be like this.
Trump not addressing it doesn't mean that he's okay with the riots and hate crimes that occurred. He was completely occupied for that entire day. How would he even be able to address that?
I started off my show by saying, you know, and when I say this, I'm saying this to all of you as well. You guys are all young people for the majority. I know I have some older viewers, but like 80% of my viewers are like under 20. All the people that come to my show, it's rare that there's ever anyone over 20 other than like the parents. You young people, including me, are the voice of the future. Us young people. People may belittle us and people may tell us because we're young we don't mean anything, and people may tell us because we're young our voices don't matter, and the president's voice matter, and the old people and the racist people and the people who are set in their ways, those voices matter, but that's not the truth. We are the next generation, and right now, everything every single one of us does to stop inequality, every one of us that protests, every one of us that fights against white privilege, every one of us that fights against racism, that's what's going to shape our country for the next forever. It's very scary to see that we have a person that advocates for the opposite, so what we do with our voices is going to be crucial.
Again, he doesn't advocate for the opposite.
With this happening to me, I have this platform. I am young. I have 2.4 million subscribers that I love with everything in me. And I just want to preach to you guys how important it is for all 2.4 million of you to use your voice. And I know that you may think to me, Tana, you have a platform. It's different that you're using your voice to advocate against racism. I'm one person, blah, blah, blah. But when I started this YouTube channel, I was just one person with 0 followers and 0 anything. And I built this up all on my own, and I hope that I am an example to you that you can use your voice to do so many things. And I'm sorry that I'm so emotional in this video. It's just like, you guys, I don't want any one of you, I don't want any one of my African American followers, I don't want any one of the people that subscribe to me to ever feel unequal. I don't want you guys to wake up every day and feel like there's white privilege. I don't want you to wake up every day and be afraid to leave your house because of the way people may treat you or hurt you, or police or people, because there's a person running our country that advocates for inequality. I want you all to know that regardless of your skin color or even your sexuality or your gender or whatever it may be, we're all equal, and we all need to use our voices to spread that. Even if you are white, even if you are a white straight male and you are the definition of America's poster child and what Donald Trump thinks is perfect, and you won't ever be afraid of a police officer in your life, that means that you need to use your voice 10 times fucking harder than everybody else. And I say that because women are discriminated against, LGBTQ community are discriminated against, people of color are discriminated against, but all of you also, including me, which is why I'm making this video, need to use your voice to end this, to end what's already beginning or getting worse in our country. And what happened to me this weekend, as terrible as it was, and I don't even mean what happened to me, I mean what I saw another human being do that is discriminative against so many millions of other human beings. As terrible as it was, and as fucked up as it had me and still has me, and obviously it makes meet and greets and things like that fucking scary, it doesn't matter. It lit a fire inside of me to, for every single second that I have this platform, I am going to use it to preach for nothing but equality and nothing but stopping the bad in the world. And I want all 2.4 million of you in the rest of the world to one day, and hopefully in my lifetime, hopefully the next generation, hopefully while I'm still alive, to all feel equal.
Tana, sweetheart, you can't make a utopia. And I can guarantee you won't be preaching equality for the entire time that you have your platform.
To touch on the N-word itself, because it's kind of what this video is all about, even if you think it's not racist to say, and when I was young, when I was like 13, 14, when I lived in, like I still live in Vegas, but growing up living in Vegas, people would say it and still say it all the time like it's just a regular word. I literally, kid you not, for years of my life, thought that it literally meant just like homie, and I know that a lot of people be like, no, you fucking did it, but like that's how I thought it was, like because it was so commonly said, and it took so long for me. Like I literally was like 17 when I learned like the severity and the pain, how fucked up that word is, and every other racial slur, because I never learned it growing up. I was never taught it. My parents literally never expressed to me the severity of it. I definitely had to learn it the hard way.
Yes, the racial slur that you're referencing was once something very powerful, but keep in mind, a word only has power if you keep giving it power, and words you refuse to say but still acknowledge are being filled with power. Your upbringing not educating you on racial slurs is unfortunate, but tell me this, since you said, and I quote, the pain and severity of that word and every other racial slur. Would the situation have been as bad in that same moment if the slur were any of the ones that I am currently scrolling by in this incredibly long list? Would it be just as bad, Tana? Because as you can see, there are hundreds of racial slurs. I'll leave the link in the description and you can let me know.
I'm almost happy that I learned it that way, because if I would have just grown up kind of knowing it was bad and never had it said all around me and even like said it, mouthed rap songs that said it and all that kind of stuff, if I wouldn't have learned the hard way how bad it was, I don't think I would be as adamant and as devoted as I am now to stopping everyone from saying it. And if you say it, even if you say it with an A at the end, even if you're just mouthing it over rap songs, you are even minusculely adding to the problem that is white privilege and racism in this country. And I know so many people are going to be like, well, if black people can say it so freely, why can't I say it so freely? I'm white. That's not the way it works. Black people, if anything, say it because at one point it was said to their ancestors as slaves, and they say it because it's like, I can say it now, I'm free now. And I hate when people say that like, oh, like slavery is dead, slavery is blah blah blah. There are still people that were once slaves that are still alive, that still walk in this country. They're human beings. You can Google it. They're 90 or something, but I mean 90 years ago that person was a slave to a white person.
Tana, get a fucking book. Slavery ended over 150 years ago. No person alive was once a slave in this country. Not to mention, black people aren't the only ones with long-dead slave ancestors in this country.
If that in itself doesn't fuel you and every single person watching this to end the N-word, if you are not African American or just to end it in general or whatever it may be, I don't know what will. And that also scares me. I don't know how to end this video because there is no conclusive point, but I hope Donald Trump or any Republican or any person sees this. I mean that. I'm not afraid of any backlash I'll get from this fucking video. There's a man running our country that on a day-to-day basis advocates for inequality. And with him running our country, that sets the example for a million racists to come forward, for the KKK to rejoice like they did when he was elected.
He's still not advocating for inequality, Tana. And as people like to say on Twitter, citation needed. Prove Trump's affiliation. Most of that was speculation and slander from the election, and it's been debunked several times by online news sources and groups.
For hate crimes to double and triple, and for there to be more Trayvon Martins, and for there to be more people that lose their lives. The N-word turns into people losing their lives.
Holy shit, did you really just say the N-word turns into people losing their lives? Tana, when did you resort to fear-mongering?
It will keep happening if you and your friends and the people watching this and the people you share this video to don't do something about it. So I'm using my platform right now to tell you guys to use your platform. Whatever it may be, use it. I don't have a conclusion to this story. I'm just coming on here today, sharing what I know and what I've learned and what happened to me, asking for advice and hoping to do nothing but learn more and hoping to do nothing but continue to educate myself, because 4 years ago, I didn't even think saying the N-word was a bad thing. And 2 years ago, I didn't even understand what white privilege meant. And a year ago, I didn't even understand what it felt like, and still never will to the fullest extent, for people to be afraid of police officers.
Tana, people shouldn't fear police in general. And the way that you keep bringing up police is pretty harmful. You're judging a mass based on the actions or qualities of the few, which means you're no better than a common-day racist.
And I'm happy that I can stand here today, 4 or 5 years later, more educated. And I hope 5 years from now, I'm 10 times more educated, and so are you, and that things are better. I am excited for what this video will do for everyone's response. And I hope whoever the person was that said that slur to me at my show watched this video, and that you learned something, and you understand that you scared me, and you scared a lot of other people, and that what you did is wrong, and it's only inciting so many terrible things for the future and other people. And I forgive you, and I hope other people can too. But with that forgiveness, you grow and you learn that what you did was wrong, because we're all humans and we all make mistakes and we all have predeterminations of things, and like maybe you didn't know it was bad or you didn't understand the severity of it or whatever, but it's what you do from this point on, you know. And I don't know why you did that to me or why you would do it to anyone for that matter, or what your thought process was, and I will never know. It may really rack my brain, but I just hope people like that learn that it's wrong and continue to grow in the next few years, especially for what could be, what's to come with our president, you know. And it's not just that guy that did that to me at my show. Like, things like this happen every single day on a daily basis, whether it's from people on the streets, whether it's kids, whether it's adults, or it's your favorite creators like PewDiePie, who just had this giant scandal for saying it.
Yes, racism can happen to anyone, anywhere, because everyone can be racist and everyone can experience racism.
And I'm not even like calling him out or hating on him. Like people have found videos of me saying that when I was like 13, but it's that PewDiePie has 50 million subscribers and he could do a lot with that. He could come on and definitely say, you know, that was wrong and racism is wrong and use his platform for a lot more. And I was disappointed, I guess, to see that he didn't. But this isn't like a shading PewDiePie video, and I hope that in the future he does use his platform, and a million other YouTubers do too, to speak out on inequality, because it's like what we do from this point on will really shape the future. And
inequality does not exist in the first world nation you are preaching from, or the first world nations you are preaching to.
People with platforms and lots of followers, social media people and celebrities are people that have really big voices that could do a lot, but you guys' voices matter just as much. So yeah, you guys, this video is going to come to a close. Like I said earlier, I don't really know how to end it. It wasn't very conclusive. It was just kind of a story and my thoughts and my feelings and what I hope to see all of you do. So I am looking forward to reading all of your responses and maybe seeing video responses or anything like that.
Just in case you say something on Twitter about not liking all the comments and video responses, I'm gonna leave this here because you kinda did ask for them.
I would love it if you guys tried to start something. I don't know how to even say this without people immediately jumping to like, oh, you're just trying to trend or whatever. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do at all. Like, I'm very satisfied with the amount of followers I have. However, I am trying to use my platform to make change. I'm very excited to see what you guys have to say. And if you are on the same page as me, I guess, in all of this, and you are scared for what is to come in the future, and you want to try to make a change, and you want to try to end what is already forming or getting worse, I would love it if you either shared this video, and if you don't want to share this video, or you think I'm trying to like get something out of it and that it's like all for views or like whatever the fuck, make your own video. You don't even have to acknowledge me. My presence in all of this is nothing, you know what I mean? Like I am just a shell to relay this message on my platform, if that makes sense.
Being a vessel is a great thing, but when you're a vessel full of lies, false facts, false information, and dishonesty, you're not helping anyone.
If anything, I hope that no light is shown on me. If anything, I want all of the light to be shown on racism and on ending it and on ending the N-word and on white privilege and all of those kind of things. I want the focus of this video and of this message to be on the message, the words, not me or my YouTube channel. So do whatever you can. If you don't want to share my video, just speak out on it.
Just a few points as we wrap up here. I completely agree with Tana. Do use your voice and speak out on injustices and problems around the world, but don't lie or spread divisive propaganda as she's done in this video. It's not constructive. You're not getting anywhere. Nothing is solved that way. I also agree that exclaiming a racial slur is harmful. It's not alright. And while this may not necessarily change the situation, it came out that this stunt or prank, as it was allegedly called, was made for someone's YouTube channel. I'm not going to list their channel, that's not my business. But it wasn't necessarily in ignorance that this was done. And yes, we should be aware that these words can be offensive, but we also need to stop tiptoeing around them. As I said earlier in the video, by refusing to say a word and continuing to acknowledge it, you're giving it power. You are not ending it in any way. Tana made a comment somewhere in her video, and to quote her, "Black people say it because at one point it was said to their ancestors as slaves, and they say it because, like, I can say it now, I'm free." If there is a word so offensive, so horrible, that doesn't represent any good, why would you use it so commonly and openly, and why would you want to call your friends that? I'm not seeing the logic there, and I've heard that from many other people on this topic. It's ignorant to do that. And I'm not calling out simply the black community who's using this with their one slur, but every community, be it race, gender, or sexual orientation. Why would you want to use words that harm you from outsiders as friendly terms to insiders and those who enjoy your company? Why would you do that? You're opening it up for outside ignorance to see that as okay and mimic what you do and use it as that friendly term. And you will still see it as some offensive thing. that's how we get into these situations time and time again. You need to stop using these words. We already know it causes the issues. On to Tana's character, as I mentioned, that I would discuss. I've very carefully decided what I was going to say here because, again, I don't harbor any hate for her. I don't need to start drama with her. How can you talk shit about people and get lawsuits from companies and commit defamation of character, but still preach that people should love themselves, be positive, and speak out for equality? The irony of it is, not only does she do those things, but she has a collab channel where she and 6 others put themselves down to be relatable. That doesn't make you relatable, that makes you a hypocrite. Your followers are also seeing your sex sells type of style all the time. You're in the tub with your friends, you're peeing on other YouTubers, you're half naked doing some of these things. It's not okay. You need to know your audience and appeal to them, not just fame and fortune for your channel. The only reason that Tana is so about the BLM movement and equality that I and many others can see is because she fucked up when she was somewhere between 12 and 16 based on timestamps and upload times of the videos and posts she's made. And she knows she got caught. She got caught shitposting about these things and using words that she now says are so awful and can't even say on camera. She knows it's wrong. And it's very two-faced for her to keep going on like this. It wasn't that many years ago that she was saying these things and doing these things. It's completely dishonest. And finally, on a personal level, as an egalitarian, someone who advocates for equality, there's no equality being made or kept when you go spouting off about white privilege and white people this and black people that. Those kinds of accusations are harmful to equality. They make shit worse, much like victimizing and victim complex thinking make shit worse. While I completely wish that every person of any gender, race, sexual orientation, and demographic could be well-informed, educated, happy, healthy, and safe, there are people like you, Tana, who make these videos and completely derail the equality movement, the egalitarian way, and you turn my wish with potential into a long-shot pipe dream. Now you, my followers, my subscribers, my viewers, whatever you may be, I'm asking you to do your part. Just love people for who they are, the content of their character. Don't point fingers and don't bring people down. Try to be a force of good in this world instead of a sack of dicks. If you're safe, well-fed, educated, and informed, try extending a hand to someone you know that isn't in that kind of position. Help each other out, guys. That's going to be it for this video. Hopefully I'll see you guys in a much happier topic pretty soon here. Bye! That's going to be it for this video. Like, comment, and share as you please, and I'll see you next time. Bye!